Bounty Offroad is a multiplayer old-school off-roader in its infancy. Here is what you need to know and how you, yes, you, can help shape its future. Making a video game is not the easiest task, as anyone who has done so would agree, but that has not stopped solo studio COD Games, pronounced like the fish, from moving on to its second title, Bounty Offroad, which follows on from Bounty Drag Racing in 2023. Before I get into the nitty-gritty, you should know that what I am showing you is an early alpha build. As such, it is miles from the land of completion. On the flip side, it also means it is free to play, so use the Steam link in the pinned comment to take it for a spin. Bounty Offroad should therefore not be judged too heavily, not yet anyway. However, the full-time developer would appreciate constructive feedback in the comments and playtesting of the multiplayer. More on that later. So dig out your trusty driving gloves and leave a comment. Disclaimer time! I was paid to make this video, but everything I said is of my own fruition and with zero input from the developer. Well, except to answer my many questions and suffer my useless driving. What is Bounty Offroad, you whisper seductively? The TLDW is that it is an old school off-roader with modern day multiplayer, one where you can play largely as you want and with who you want. While there are numerous off-roader offerings, including something called SnowRunner, no, never heard of it either, indie developer COD Games has been inspired by early 2000s titles, including the deceased Motor M4 from 2008 and 2011's Off-Road Drive. While I enjoy off-road games currently in the market, since about 2021, I have been dissatisfied with certain things I wanted games to have, which older games had. COD Games explained, "That is when I said to myself, once Bounty Drag Racing is finished, I will jump in and make my own." The two main focus points of Bounty Offroad are social interaction and the driving experience. Unlike SnowRunner or Expeditions: A Mudrunner game, gameplay extends beyond 4-player co-op and there is a text chat function. COD Games continued, "We can hold up to 16 players currently, which is vastly more than other games. This can mean a type of gameplay where I can announce a convoy or a get-together and we can have a lobby with a good amount of people jumping in and out. The last time I did it, I announced a hill climb competition and it was fun seeing everyone take their turn in this hill to see who did it in the lowest time. Even if you prefer to play as a single lonely introverted Pringle, you may come across other players out in the wild, at a garage, or fuel station. Take that, SnowRunner loneliness. You could also choose to compete in an event with another player or just drive around and have fun," the developer added. So what can you do right now in Bounty Offroad? Well, as you can see, not a huge amount yet. 3 types of events challenge you to weave your way in and out of obstacles as fast as possible, with a cash reward your prize. Said cash can then be used to buy truck upgrades for at least aesthetic enhancement, hello obnoxiously bright paint job, but also performance improvements for more speed and power. Speed and power. Fuel consumption and filling up are a thing too. Your fuel level is persistent, even when you close the game. Quitting will therefore not save you. Instead, you will need to get to a gas station, or petrol station to us Brits. By hopping back to your garage, you get enough to drive to fill up. Why? To add a roleplay vibe. There is also a day to night cycle and weather, though the 5-minute random nature of it has not yet been added, and the snow and sandstorm effects are for the forthcoming biomes I never had access to. You can even use automatic gears, though I suspect many SnowRunner and Expeditions fans will crave some manual control, even if it means you can over-rev and blow your engine. Speaking of which, no odd sounding engine loops here, but you can make use of the differential, connect to objects to winch, and use headlights with a full beam function. Right now, things are part realistic and part arcadey, which fits with the early 2000s vibe. There is a weightiness to the vehicles, and you cannot drive up any old hill in the standard off-roader. Yet the steering is fast, maybe too fast, grip too much, and vehicles do not really roll much when cornering hard. Slightly simplistic environments and relatively few hazards play a role in reducing the focus on the physics and handling models. However, suspension travel is still a thing, and being in the low instead of high gear affects your shift timing and top speed. As COD Games explained on its Facebook page, the game will be more focused on the driving experience than in the physics themselves. There are other games with great mud physics, but I prefer to focus on what other games don't do. I want good driving physics, both at high and low speeds, and a good feeling of progression and roleplay. By the time we reach early access on the 2nd of December 2024, there will be 3 biomes: woodland, as demonstrated, plus a hot and sweaty desert, and chilly Arctic. Players will start with 1 vehicle, so you will need to complete challenges to upgrade your ride and bolster your fleet. Suspension tuning for stiffer and softer compliance will also be added, as well as car interiors and potentially things suggested by the community. In addition, 5 or so new vehicles will be added between now and the end of the year. Bounty Offroad is for PC only, specifically the Steam client. That means no Xbox or PlayStation action, and it is likely to stay that way to help with development quality. One-man band, remember? COD Games said there are currently no plans for a console release for Bounty Offroad or Bounty Drag Racing. The 2nd of December 2024 is when Bounty Offroad swaps from its free alpha to paid early access beta form. Expect to pay $20 or equivalent. In doing so, you will be upgraded to the full release at launch for free. As you have probably seen from the footage, Bounty Offroad needs fleshing out and adjustments to the physics and camera to make it better. But I see potential, especially with its unique 16-player shenanigans. Other key areas of improvement, to me at least, are to make the environments more varied and detailed, add more stuff to do, and really go hard on the driving experience to make it more satisfying. There could even be some garage customization, which could be seen by other players on the map, or perhaps the ability to swap parts with players instead of buying them, or sell parts yourself like an auto shop. Features such as these would really separate Bounty Offroad from its rivals. But what do I know? I just make silly YouTube videos. Speaking of which, be sure to like, subscribe, and talk about your ideas for Bounty Offroad in the comments. Until next time, take care.